Feed me. Feed me more. Feed me more. The Ryback Show starts now.
Welcome to the Ryback Show Wednesday live. I am the big guy, Ryback. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. This podcast, this show is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition Premium Supplements for men and women, sweetened stevia and monk fruit, no artificial sweeteners or colors, vegan friendly, available on feedmemore.com. You can save 20% listening to this show with discount code Ryback Show 20, Ryback Show 20 to save 20% on your orders. We've got a spin and win wheel. You could save up to 35% on there. Multiple big discounts for signing up to play. Free gym bags, free half-gallon jugs. We have our text message and email newsletter, one a week on those. You could sign up for those under the menu blog bar over there and get 25% off your future next two orders if you want, signing up for each one of those. So plenty of ways to save for everybody, whether you're a repeat customer or brand new customer. And all month, but wait, there's more. All month of August, we are giving you a free Feed Me More Nutrition Black Feed Me More Nutrition Hungry Shaker Bottle, premium shaker bottle, free as a gift for saying thank you for shopping the best supplements on the planet. That's a big claim. I don't know what else is out there in the universe. So I did say planet. I didn't say the universe. The best supplements in the universe. We're going to say it. Screw it. Screw the aliens. What's going on? Good to see everybody. Big workout today. Great workout. Got my vehicles, got my truck all detailed yesterday. Took some pictures with mi amigos down at the detail place. They big fans of the Ryback. Very strong following in the Latino community, the Mexican community. And I've never been to Mexico. But here in the States, the mi amigos definitely have always been very kind to El Hombre Grande. And I'm always very, very thankful for that. I hadn't been to that detail place in quite a while. And then I cleaned out my car. My car is not that dirty. The truck was a little bit dirty from all the damn food videos on that. And I have a new feeding time video coming out tomorrow. We did that yesterday. A new feeding time that will be out tomorrow at 9 a.m. for everybody listening. In case you don't get the notifications, please turn those on. Helps out at the cause. And I'm debating because there's a lot going on with everything with COVID. There's a shortage of microchips for new vehicles. So dealerships want used vehicles that are in great shape. And I have two very, very nice vehicles completely paid off. A 2013 Dodge Ram Laramie 1500 truck of the year in 2013. And then I got a 2015 Challenger RT. It's a Hemi V8. Both of them are the Hemi V8s. Very powerful vehicles. The Challenger is just one class below the Hellcat. The Hellcat's the only one more powerful on the Challenger. And I was going to get that, but they didn't have the color I want. I wanted red. It was my Christmas gift, and I bought the one right under it. I didn't care. It was a little cheaper, so I go, But they paid them off in full, and they're paying top dollar for vehicles right now. So what I am doing is pitting. I've got the Kelly Blue Book value, and then you submit it, and then all the dealerships are contacting me wanting to pay me for my vehicles. So what I'm doing is I'm taking in all these offers, and then I'm putting them up against each other. Go, that's cool, Tobin Dodge, but Prestige Dodge said they'll give me this amount for the vehicles, and then so I actually went to Prestige Dodge yesterday and got the numbers back, and they're great, but they could be a lot better. And Tobin's getting ready to quote me. Tobin has a Hemi V8 blackout Charger. I like the Chargers. I want the 4-door car because I'm getting the Cybertruck next year. So this is where I'm going with all this. The vehicles, I'm going to get way more for my vehicles now than I probably would if I let things go, unless the world really keeps getting bad. Let's pray to God that doesn't happen. So I'm going to take advantage of it now, most likely. So I'm waiting to get some numbers back and then trade the vehicles in, get the Hemi V8 Charger, blackout, decked out, pimped out Charger, then walk out, give them my vehicles, get a brand new vehicle for free, and then probably walk out with possibly anywhere from $30,000 to $35,000 cash. Not a bad little deal. Not a bad deal. On top of, so then brand new vehicle, no worries, because the vehicles tend, and I talk about this on Feeding Time, after 5 years, vehicles tend to, that's where the problems start. I'm lucky because I didn't drive mine at all in the beginning, hardly at all. The truck has, from 2013, 51,437 miles. And the vehicle, the Challenger, has 24,200, and I think it was like 40 something miles on the Challenger, which obviously that all changes. Just drive it down the street, but that's like the vicinity that they're in. So we're waiting to get some numbers back because I've gotten some. Then the other dealerships are giving me quotes, and so that's what I got going on. And I'm just waiting. If I don't like the numbers, if they don't make sense, I'm not doing anything. But yeah, because I've had those for a bit, and the truck is starting to get up there a little bit in miles. No problems, though. Beautiful vehicle, Challenger, beautiful, nothing. So it's we'll see what happens. But that's what I've been doing. That's what's going on with the big guy. Thank you for joining me. All super chats are pulled up to the screen. This show is a fan-friendly show. Super chats are highly encouraged to make me a lot more money doing this show as a thank you to answering your questions. But I do answer other questions. I'm just not pulling you up on the screen. So that's the way the show works. It's available on all podcast platforms. And somebody called me a douchebag. Thank you very much. That was prior to me talking about the super chats. Out of curiosity, Pete RR says, do you answer Instagram comments? We do stream live on Instagram and TikTok. TikTok is, we do massive numbers, huge numbers, tremendous numbers on TikTok. My Trump impersonation, getting anywhere up to 50, 55,000 viewers for the show. And then obviously way less on the other platforms, but that all adds up to a very strong show per show. Good to see all of you, but I do answer a couple questions on Instagram. Like somebody says now, Jack Jen 79 says, how do you get your protein on a vegan diet? You eat protein-rich vegan foods. Where can you learn those foods? Go to feedmemore.com. Go to my blog section. We have all the blogs are free. We have go to blogs, and under the nutrition section, click on the high protein vegan foods and how to begin a vegan diet, my man. And that will get you rolling, as Limp Bizkit would say on how to get the protein on the vegan diet. Very easy. You just have to disconnect from all the BS and lies we have been told, thinking so many people think, and I used to think this way, that protein comes from animals. Yes, you can get protein from consuming animals and byproducts of animals. There are all these protein-rich foods that we have been given that are actually superior for us for not only building muscle when we have a diverse diet, but for improving endurance and increasing blood flow that you will not regret. I promise you. I promise you. Thank you very much. Cartoon Kayla says, I love your Instagram. So funny. I cannot sometimes. You're a goofy dude. I'd like to think I'm a well-rounded dude. I'm a dude who's comfortable with himself, who can be very, very serious, who can get very, very angry, who I would like to think could rip the limbs off of another human being if I truly, truly am in that mindset. But I'm a guy that is happy and I've been successful, and I'm in a very good place in my life. And I love to laugh. Laughter has helped me overcome so much in my life. And obviously needing a 5-disc fusion and shoulder replacement and walking away from the one thing that you wanted to do your whole life and a multi-million-dollar contract. I don't think a lot of people can wrap their brain about that situation, and not to toot my own horn, but what I've been able to do while being suppressed by a multi-billion-dollar company. I have a lot of things that can trigger me and make me mad. Fans believing lies coming at me, where I stay ultra positive and I laugh and I try to provide inspiration and health and supplementation and nutrition information with my followers, and stay in a positive mindset despite things that are going on still. Back completely healed. My dog that's had 8 ruptures and disc disease is doing better than ever. That I stopped all appearances for over 3 years ago. Lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on that. Easy. I don't let things, I just go with the flow. I stay in a positive mindset. And that's why I've been blessed and I've been protected. And it's going to be a beautiful thing that is coming up very, very soon. Jordan asked, hey, Ryback, can you compare living in Nevada to Florida? Yeah, man. So I was born in Vegas. I love Vegas. Vegas is getting very crowded though, with everyone coming in from California, which I'm not a fan of. I'm cool with with it growing, but we're getting some crazies out here. And like there was a lady that was shot and killed on the freeway from California. She ran over a cop. It was a huge chase. They had to have a helicopter land on the freeway a few weeks ago. That's never happened here. And she was from California. And it's just like, where I lived was always very peaceful and quiet. It's not where I'm at still. I mean, it is my area and live in a nice neighborhood, but you venture out, there's thousands of new homes around me and it's beautiful with the mountains and the desert, but we're growing rapidly. They're adding onto the freeways all out here, which we're going to have the Oakland A's are moving here. They're going to implode the Rio. And they're going to put the Oakland A's stadium where the Rio is. That's going down in the next few years. They're building, I think, another arena for a pro basketball team. They're not even going to use the T-Mobile Arena that they use for the hockey team. So they're going to build another basketball arena down by the Strip, which I don't know how they're going to do all that, but I saw the layout. So, I mean, we're like turning into a New York City, LA in the next 5 to 10 years of the craziness and chaos. Which by then I'll probably be in Montana or Idaho or the Dakotas, maybe even Canada, switch completely. But Florida, I liked Florida, but it wasn't home. It was very humid there. I like the weather. The weather, even though the weather is year round in Florida, I think is nicer. The humidity is much higher. I prefer Vegas weather minus the 3 months in the summer here where it's pure hell. Like now, August, September, where we're at right now, it's starting to get it's comfortable. And into September, October is my favorite period in Vegas. So if I could live in Florida, I can't remember the Florida summers. I know they're hot, but they're not like, it's a different hot. Here, it's like a scorching oven. And there, it's like you're just drenched in sweat. So it's like, I don't know. But Florida was never home. Vegas has always been home for me. And I know I've lived in Louisville, Kentucky. I liked Louisville. Louisville was a lot different. I'll never forget my first time I went to a grocery store in Louisville. I saw a very heavy, overweight couple with kids. They were all wearing overalls. And the guy wasn't wearing a shirt with his overalls. And the fat was hanging all out everywhere. And I literally stopped and was just staring. And I go, whoa. I'm not in Vegas anymore. And I've lived in McDonough, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. That was a whole different experience. Some good times there. The women in McDonough, Georgia, Atlanta. Jesus. Some good memories down there for that year. Those were wild first year in wrestling, Deep South wrestling. A lot of alcohol. Even some pills. That was before the drug policy. I never even did pills. But I became a wrestler. I was like, I didn't even drink. I started drinking and doing pills my first year in wrestling because all the guys were doing it. And I was like, I want to be a wrestler too. Luckily, that shit didn't fly for very long. And it wasn't crazy, but like the drinking was pretty heavy on the weekends. During the week, 8-hour days, 2-3-hour gym sessions. I mean, my whole day, it was training Monday through Friday and then party on the weekends. And when I say party, I mean, we all went hard. Luke Gallows, me, Mike Knox. There was a whole group of guys, and we drank really, really hard. We did GHB too. That was a crazy period. I literally got thrown to the pro wrestling world. I learned so much that first year on what not to do to be successful in life. But I'll tell you what, I'm glad for all of it because it got me through that ridiculous training. And this wasn't anything like promoted by the organization or WWE. This was just what the guys, it was just, I got thrown into the pro wrestling world and like was a young 22-year-old, just like gung-ho training like crazy and having a good time. There were some, I'm getting flashbacks of McDonough, Georgia. I can't even talk about one of them. It was pretty crazy. Involved a woman who lived down in her parents' basement, but it was like this huge house in this really rich community. Oh, I can't even talk about it. It was crazy. Good times. I've lived a great life, guys. I'm very happy. Tennessee. I knew a broad down in is it Gatlinburg? Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Another good town down there. Some good times in Tennessee. Not peer pressure. I just think it would, as far as with wrestling, I think it was just, it was when you talk about that, it wasn't like anything like when I got to be, when it wasn't, there were a couple occasions where it was out of control. For the most part, it was under control. Guys looked out for each other. It was that first year in wrestling, there were a lot of good memories, even though it was pure boot camp hell. I'm very thankful for the memories that I have, specifically in the memory with that broad. How was Cheddar's Swiss 69, hell of a name, on Instagram asked, how was working with The Rock or Stone Cold in front of St. Charles, Missouri? I don't know. I don't know how working with them was. I've never wrestled them. They've been on shows that I've been at, but I never specifically worked with them. What else we got going on? Did I miss any super chats? It's crazy. The attendance is a little down tonight. It's I would chalk that up to people who are watching AEW, which I usually don't record on Wednesdays, but I have a little time today, so I was like, I'm gonna hop on a recording. Jabroni for Life says, hey, big guy, my little brother just lost his first job here in New York City for not being vaccinated. What the fuck? First of all, I'm very sorry to hear that. Trust me, I don't know what's going on with all of this. It's very concerning why we are forcing this on everyone when there's not a need to force this on everyone. There's been a lack of information from nutrition and supplementation from the start. There's been a lack of information from the start. This is an experimental vaccine. I have friends here that have taken it that have told me that the papers they have to sign with all the warnings on it, where they couldn't believe, they go, I can't believe we're doing this, but their job peer pressured them into getting it here. I'm just thankful that I'm not in that position to have to do that. I think a lot of people have a lot of questions and concerns. And I'll tell you this, a good amount of people have died from it. They're not disclosing that information honestly. And they go, no, they're not. They're not being transparent with this entire situation. There are people that don't need to get it. A lot of people don't need to get it. I'm pro-choice. I believe if you feel it's in your best interest, but there are no long-term studies. And these are things that a lot of people want to see before they just decide. If you're a perfectly healthy individual And I truly believe this. What they have done is, and I put a post up on this today, they've taken it and made it people versus people by saying like, hey, the healthy people are to blame. And then the healthy people are like, no, it's the sick and out of shape people or the people with pre-existing conditions that, so we've never done anything like this before. It's always been our health is our health, and it's up to us whether we want to eat bad or do things that are detrimental to our health, right? But our health has always been our health. We've never said, hey, you need to take a chance and sacrifice in case and do something risky that that has no long-term studies to benefit this portion of the population, which if that portion of the population gets the vaccine, they're protected from supposedly their odds increase that if they get infected again, where they're not as likely to die, right? So what's then you're pushing this agenda on people, and say you have Tom over here who's perfectly healthy, like myself, that's not been sick in 9 years, and he has a family, and Tom goes and takes the vaccine, which they're not accountable for if anything happens, and Tom dies because this has happened, and Tom dies. Who takes care of Tom's family? Who helps Tom's family grieve during this time? Because Tom took a chance based off peer pressure that he needed to try something. I think people have a lot of valid questions and concerns, and I don't like where this is going on this. And I don't think it's going to fly long term. I think there's too many people out there that are going to unite together. And the war will not be people versus people. The war will be people versus government. And I can't stress that enough. And they have to realize that. They work for us. And it's easy. What they've done is they put everyone in the ant jar, and they've shaken the ant jar, and they're keeping everybody angry at everybody else. And it's not businesses have a choice. And what they're doing is they're conditioning it to make it that it's acceptable to make it a requirement. And then so if they're starting with businesses, sports teams, which the sports teams are being paid to do this, they are getting paid to do this for the vaccine companies. And then it's going to be, well, we're doing it here already. If you want to travel, fly, yeah, you're going to need a vaccine. My thing is, nothing beats a negative test and a strong immune system, regardless with the vaccine or without it. So they are taking away options from people that does not make sense. And that's what people have a problem with. That's what I have a problem with on that. It's like the Raiders here. They're not accepting negative tests to go to their games, but they're allowing vaccinated people that are not tested, that could be carrying COVID, to go in there and spread COVID in a mass setting, a mass amount of people. They got people, they're going to be doing vaccinations in the parking lot where the people are supposedly have to wear a mask, which if they're in there and they're eating and drinking, the masks are off. They're not going to be able to enforce that. People are going to take those masks off here in Vegas right away anyways with that. So the most efficient way, if you're having games with a mass gathering, would be have negative COVID tests for everybody, vaccinated or not. That is how you ensure that you limit the spread. If we're truly trying to limit it, but we're not. We're trying to force the vaccination and get that vaccination into every human being on the planet. And that's what a lot of people, this isn't like people are walking around dying left and right, guys. It's not happening. And people dying, what they're doing in the news, they're not tracking all forms of death. So you got the people with the low IQ that don't understand death happens every day at a mass level. There's a lot of deaths every single day. What they've done is, oh my God, 1,000 people died today. Well, let's go ahead and show every other form of death every day. Let's go ahead and show the same from the year prior, the flu deaths every year, and give people something to put into perspective. Like, hey guys, people die all the time. There's a lot of people that are very sick and morbidly obese and very, very sick from a lifelong of bad decisions, guys, that are dying, that we're going to die regardless really, really soon. But they're not telling you all of that. And that's why people are mad. But they're playing with the 87%, if not higher, portion of the population that consumes the media and the news and takes it as gospel. And then that's where they've created the hate, and they do it with everything because the news is a business and makes money. And they've gone too far now, and there's a lot of people that aren't going to stand for it, and it's creating a lot of tension and conflict. But the war is not people on people. And if anything ever does break down, people need to be very intelligent and educated on this matter. It's the war is on our government and what they're overstepping their bounds, and they're doing it in other countries right now. And that to me is where we have to take a look at it and go, are we? That's why hopefully people boycott the Raiders games. You got to hit them where it hurts, and that's in the pocketbook, and you got to take away their profits, you know. And there's going to be a portion of people that, oh, I got to go see the Raiders. I'm diehard Raiders. And that's why they're setting up vaccinations in the parking lot to get those people that can't miss a Raiders game that aren't aware of what's going on. So, but yeah, it's crazy times. And I'm sorry that New York City's like that. And it's truly unfortunate. They're doing it, I know, for restaurants and gyms. And my thing is why they have quick COVID tests with these. Why not just have, if you choose not to get the vaccination, where you're getting a COVID test how many ever times a week? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's even every day, but there's so many ways, even if it's an inconvenience, you're giving people an option that if they don't have COVID, why are you preventing them from going to work? For an experimental vaccine with no long-term studies that people have died from. I understand the concerns. All right, we've got a super chat. Sonny Lamont coming in hot, Sonny, with that 1999. That's, man, I might be able to order a special coffee at Starbucks with that. Yo, big guy, what are your thoughts on the January 7th riot in the nation's capital? Feed me more. You know, I'm not political. I've never voted. I don't believe in the system. I don't trust politicians one bit. I think they're all crooked. They all work for lobbyists and other causes that line their pocketbooks in a multitude of ways. But as far as everything that goes there, I don't know. I haven't watched enough news and everything. I thought it was ridiculous, the whole thing. But there's a lot, the social media, and as far as with politics and the Democrats and the Republicans, and they've always, the whole thing with politics should be to unite people. Instead, they create division. And now with social media, we've created ultra hate through fabrication of various news and things. Anybody could write anything these days and make an opinion piece and just straight up lie. And then you got social media showing people things that they're prone to click on, more of those things. So people could be getting a lot of misinformation on a various topic, or they could just be, so they're very passionate about whatever that belief is. They could be getting facts on one topic where they're very, very passionate about. And we're just seeing a lot of odd behavior, but it's, I'm not sure what really, it didn't seem, I wasn't there. You've seen different videos of different portions of it, but it looked like just like a tour, a chaotic tour at some point. But like, I don't understand why that would be allowed to even happen to begin with. I don't know. It seemed odd. It didn't seem right, whatever it was. Like, it was like, why, I don't know what's going on. And I think a lot of people don't. And it's easy to form a strong belief one way or the other, but I don't know. I just think there's a lot of people, and this is just coming, I'm in the sauna the other day at the gym, and there's a group of guys in there. And I have my headphones on, so I'm keeping to myself. But I could hear them talking, and they were talking about all this. And the general consensus was this, just something isn't right with what's going on. And I've heard that over and over again, regardless of people. And I don't talk to the people I associate with. They're pretty positive minded, intelligent people. And it's the same thing. It's like something's just not right with all of this. And that's what I've collected since all this began from intelligent, normal people, is something's just off with all of this. And I don't know. That's why I just focus on my stuff and my job and my work. But I suffer the repercussions of everything going on as a business owner. I don't get unemployment or anything of that nature, And it's so if business goes, and business has gotten worse since COVID began. I was on pace last year. I mean, we had our biggest year ever last year still. but I had to adjust my marketing and give away a lot of cash to keep people coming to the site. But our marketing, my return on ad spend crashed last year compared to what it was. And it has just been going up and up and up because people have pulled back on their spending. And it happens even like with the Delta variant. We were again starting to go back up and getting back to where we were. And then the moment they started pushing that Delta variant, numbers started coming back down a bit and people are pulling back, still doing business, but not where we were because they're creating fear and keeping people out for whatever reason. People, when there's tension and fear, they pull back on spending overall. And people, like, there's unemployment's supposed to be ending in places and has ended in some places. Here we've got people, the eviction deal, millions of people have lost their homes. I don't know if it is another 14 million are estimated to be in the next month here in the States to be homeless. Because the eviction deal that was protecting people ends. This is scary stuff. Suicide rates are higher than ever with this, but they're not giving you those numbers on the newscast every night and talking about this and the people that have lost everything, all the small business owners that have lost everything. So it's crazy, man. And it's just, I don't know. What else do we have going on? Good question, though, Sonny. Thank you. Jose asked good questions here. Hey, Ryback. Oh, I can't pull you up, though. I violated my own rule on my own show. As far as does water keep you hydrated is your question. Yes, and also your kidneys keeps you hydrated, and also your kidneys. But is it bad to overhydrate yourself? And if so, what would you do? So it's important to make sure you're getting efficient electrolytes throughout the day. Electrolytes make the water wetter, and so that would be and potassium and magnesium, along with quality sodium like pink Himalayan sea salt and potassium and magnesium, really are good to have throughout the day. That's why our Finish It BCAAs that we have are vegan friendly, but they're an electrolyte matrix as well with that. But I always recommend you get some of that no salt, or New Salt is a different brand where it's just potassium chloride, and sprinkle that on your meals whenever you eat at home. It will really help as well. And it will make the water you drink work better as far as hydrating your cells with that. You can drink too much water. If you're drinking a lot of like distilled water flushes you out and makes you piss more, actually, which is good to do if you're trying to lose water over a short period of time. But long term, it drains a lot of the vitamins and minerals out of your body with that. And that's something that you could overhydrate on that for sure. That's why it depends on your activity level. I think, striving for a gallon of water a day is a very safe amount. And I think upwards of 2, if you're definitely with hardcore training, and maybe even a little more depending on how much you sweat. If you're going to the gym, like me, if I go and I do my hard conditioning after my workout and I'm pouring sweat and I go do the sauna for 20, 30 minutes, I've lost a lot of water where I could come home and drink multiple big bottles of water and like not have to go to the bathroom or anything. Because my body's just replenishing what it lost. And on days like that, I got to drink a lot more water. So it's always, there's no like right or wrong answer for people on that. But a gallon a day typically is a safe amount. When am I going to be replying to my fan mail? I will swing by the PO box this week and go grab the fan mail, and regardless of if I do a video or not, because doing the videos, it takes a lot of time for Ryback TV. If I could get a video, I will, but if not, I'll get it done and get that out by the weekend. Dominic says, my wife takes sleeping pills, says they don't help her. I told her about your GTS go to sleep, but she's on the fence. Get her over. Hold on one second. Go ahead and grab that bottle of GTS. Over there, I got the supplements back there. This is our GTS Go to Sleep. It's $29.99. This is the best sleep formula on the planet. How can I say that? So I created this formula on the road in WWE after taking Benadryl and NyQuil night after night for years to go to bed after performing in front of thousands of people, driving and listening to audiobooks and drinking coffee for 3 to 5 hours every night. And I would get into my room and I was taking more Benadryl and more NyQuil. And then I was like, this is not the healthiest thing to be doing long term. And I was waking up very groggy and hungover from taking like 2 caps of NyQuil and 2 Benadryl. When like if I had a coffee like the last hour, which sometimes I would have to do because I'd be like in and out and it just out, like just really, really just out of it from the long days on that. I go, well, I make all my other stuff. I had my fat burner and my test booster, and I had the kick out immune system, and I had a handful of different supplements. I'd already all my pill cases and everything. I go, why don't I do a sleep formula as well? And so I started mixing and matching different herbs that I was looking up and seeing that were non-habit forming, that were natural. And I remember I'd had different things through different teas and things before. Like I had a chamomile tea. I remember relaxed me a lot. And then I remember I had something with, I think I had a melatonin formula that had lemon balm in it and like 5-HTP. And like that, it like that worked pretty well. And so in my whole psychology of supplements is a lot of these companies don't put enough ingredients into the formulas because a lot of them want to keep things very simple. They go, oh, only 1 pill. And so people like, oh, only 1 pill, and they'll buy it. And it might work okay, but it's not great. I want my supplements to be great, which is why the capsule count is a little bit higher. And I'm going to read you the ingredients. And I'm going to ask your wife to go ahead and do a little research and try to find another sleep aid that gives all these ingredients, and specifically at the amounts, because we give you the proper amount per ingredient that really, really works. And our GTS sleep aid also has a full ZMA supplement, zinc and magnesium, which is very, very beneficial for COVID. Vitamin B6, calcium, magnesium, zinc, GABA, valerian powder, chamomile flower, passion flower, lemon balm, 5-HTP, and melatonin on that. And that is what we give you on this formula. A lot of these companies, a lot of these supplements, if you were to just buy these individual ingredients, you would pay probably close to $100, if not $100 on Amazon. And we give you everything for 30 days supply for $29.99. And it works. Take it an hour before bed. You'll have a nice, calm, relaxed feeling. I take this more nights than not. I can tell you there's been a handful of times in the years that I've had this where I've drank like a really strong coffee or something late at night where it took a little bit longer to set in than the hour, but it still ended up working, and then go to bed. And I've had people and friends that have a lot of difficulty sleeping that have taken this. And there was a woman that I know where she would only sleep 2 or 3 hours a night, where she'll like go to bed and wake up after an hour or two and be wide awake. And when she takes this, she goes right back to bed and she says she gets 7 to 8 hours. That is a huge difference. So I believe in this greatly. And I want your wife to believe in this because I know it works. And so I hope she takes a chance. There's a 14-day money back policy on feedmemore.com as well. So I think she should take it for 10 days straight. I want 10 days. That's what I want from your wife. 10 days to use GTS, to clarify. No, I love caffeine. Caffeine is very beneficial, especially if you stay between 300 to 500 milligrams a day in that range. Maybe 500 is on the high side for some people, but I think you could definitely overdo caffeine for sure. But I think caffeine is very, very beneficial. Ethan says, wrestling, would you rather participate in a Japan pro wrestling death match? I honestly don't even know what a pro wrestling Japan death match looks like. I've never watched one of them. So, or fall off Hell in a Cell, Mick Foley, Shane McMahon style. No, unless I was getting paid a lot extra and I was very confident in the setup of the thing. I just don't. I don't. It would all. There's so many factors that would what the story is, what's going on. You know, it depends. That's a lot of those things have so much padding. It's not really going through the table doesn't hurt. I've gone through many tables. They don't hurt at all. And the only concern with the table is if the wiring can slice you like hardcore Holly. That, I mean, could be very, very bad. But the announce tables, they don't have that. Macho Man says, "Hey Ryback, I was just watching your fat burner commercial. That must be the one with the bigger boned woman." I was very hurt in that. I wanted to shell shock her into the pool. I was so hurt. I didn't even want to like attempt to have to pick her up because I knew she wasn't going to be able to help me either. And because what better way than I go, well, majority of people, if they're not wrestling fans, don't know that the shell shock, what move that is. So we're just going to meat hook her into the pool with my good shoulder. And I had to wear my shoes because my big foot, my toe on my old ankle injury, I didn't want a chance running on without shoes in case my toe got stuck into the ground. So I had to wear tennis shoes so I could run outside to clothesline her. True story. I was told that by a very reliable source in WWE that Vince McMahon has seen that commercial and belly laughs at it every single time. And that is the as much as I could care less for him, that makes me happy just because it is a ridiculously funny video. That was our most successful advertising video, by the way. Cheapest video I've ever done on anything, made me the most money on it. I still keep it and post it occasionally on things, but we did that thing. That thing made a lot of money. It got a lot of organic traffic too. My goals in life are never to tell people my goals in life. How many hours of sleep do you get normally? 7, 8 hours normally. There's always exceptions when you got things that happen. Strive always for 7 to 8 hours. I don't have to take naps. I never take naps. I'm very efficient at that level. I appreciate if anybody, you guys talk about that guy and say he's a fan. I'm not saying he's not. I don't appreciate people from other channels that try to spam a show and people, and it's just not good behavior. And you got to be shell shocked down a pit of spikes out of Rybackville. Any tips for lowering cholesterol? I would definitely look into more of a plant-based vegan diet, adding select fruits into your diet as well. There's certain things that can really over time make a huge difference on that. Just having a very diverse diet in whether you're trying to build muscle and you have more protein in there with the plant-based diet, but having select fruits and vegetables into your diet with the protein vegan foods over a period of time, you will make improvements. And the only way to do that is to start implementing a better diet, on that. We have a lot of things on there. And I'll have to look into the Rolodex of things on cholesterol foods with that, with things you could do over time that can improve that. But it's definitely with the vegan diet, and you're cutting out the cholesterol you're getting from all the other foods. And there's a lot of foods that work in your favor to lower your cholesterol. I actually got to go in for more lab work soon too. I'm really being over a year in now, and my blood pressure. My blood pressure's perfect. I mean, it's gotten better and better, and actually always has been normal. But there have been periods that it shoots up, and nothing like alarming, but where it could be higher. And then I remember before I went vegan, there were a few times where it was higher than what it used to be, and I don't know what factors were changing that. But since I've gone vegan and made all these other adjustments, it's been beautiful. Good to see you guys too. Thank you for stopping by. As always, this show is brought to you by Feed Me More Nutrition. Available on feedmemore.com. Free shaker bottles for the whole month of August. Take a swig of water. Dustin asked, how much do I drink a lot of water? How many times do I go to the bathroom? I don't know, Dustin. I don't have a piss counter along. I mean, I've got a pretty large house. I've got quite a lot of bathrooms in the house. I don't have like a little button I hit and that like keeps track for me throughout the day. And if I go out and go do stuff and use restrooms in public, I just don't know. I go to the bathroom. I piss quite a bit, but I couldn't even give you a number. And I've never even been like, man, I'm going to count how many times I piss a day. Just has never been anything that I'm like, man, I really want to do that. What are some foods that help with your mood? Cilantro and bananas are two things I would add into your diet. Fresh organic cilantro, I would cut up ample amounts and put that in a meal 1 or 2 times a day. And I would add 1 to 2 bananas into your diet a day. Jose says, you said hip thrusts are good for your back, and I've done some in my sleep while I listen to music on my phone. Can I recommend those for my sister or anyone in my family? Yeah, definitely. I would. Doing them in your bed's an interesting place, unless you're doing something else. But the hip thrust, you could do them. I would do them on the floor on a hard surface. And also, if you're not using weight, I would add 3-second holds onto those squeezes at the top portion to make those a little more intense. And ideally, it's more beneficial if you can get the weight with the bar and get a pad. If you got, or gyms have the machines. Some gyms, weighted hip thrust are the best, but non-weighted work as well. You might just have to do higher reps, and like I said, I would add in the 3-second squeezes. And I want to do them in the bed just because, and for various reasons, if somebody walks in on you and you're just like humping the air and with your headphones on, I don't know. I'm just looking out. I would do them on the floor, though, on a hard surface more than anything. Straight Jacket Music, thank you very much for that very nice compliment. It is crazy how time flies. I feel like I've stayed the same for the last 10 years and haven't aged, but it's crazy seeing kids turn into adults. And then when you say, oh, like people go, you're my favorite, or you were my favorite when I was a kid, or I grew up, loving you. And then, they're functional adults now. It's pretty cool to see. And it's cool with social media that we stay in contact. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And having that platform. I love Bo Dallas. I guess Bo retired from wrestling, and I wasn't aware of that. It makes me sad that since I've left, so many guys that I loved and came up with are gone. The business always changes, though, over time. As far as talents come there, they use them and then they fire them. And I walked away from it all and wasn't fired, but gone still. And it's just crazy to see that happen from the outside and time go by, right? And like it's that's why I'm very blessed to have gotten my health back. And have what I'm doing be successful and be happy, and I could just go back and just focus on being the best pro wrestler / physical actor in the world, and have fun, and not be dependent on it for my livelihood. I think it puts me in a very powerful position. So I'm grateful for that. We're going to go ahead and shell shock the Crunchwrap Supreme back to Taco Bell. See you later, pal. Thanks for playing. Guys, I love you guys for coming in. If you spam the chat and ruin it for the good people, as mayor, governor, president of Rybackville, it is my duty and obligation to shell shock the bad people. I was a big fan of the Bo Dallas character and gimmick, and thought that could have been so, like, he was so comfortable doing it too. I thought it captured the parts of his personality that I really, really liked. And I thought that could have been booked obviously a lot better. And I would have liked to seen him in longer matches, and which is crazy because he used to work long matches. He was the FCW champion. He was a workhorse down there. And it just goes to show, that's why I say it's physical acting. They give you a role, and then a lot of guys that know how to work really long, great matches don't get those opportunities up there. And it is what it is. It's crazy. But Bo is extremely talented and got into the business at a very young age. But I'll tell you what, I bet you his life will be better long-term if he truly did retire and stays away from it, and he'll have a happier life away from it. I really believe that, because I think the business could be, you get a lot of bad habits when you're up there. A lot of guys do drink. They do the chewing tobacco, which I've talked about, or excessive marijuana. And because you're lonely, and that's really working that 5-day-a-week road schedule. It's a very lonely, sad existence. It is. And that's why I'm so grateful that I was able to get out of that intact, and where it didn't have a negative effect on me. And I never really picked up anything bad over that outside of the tobacco. And I stopped that even before I left. So, super chat from Matt Helms. Hello, Ryback. How are you doing? It's a great day, Matt. I'm here. We're here live on Ryback TV, the Ryback Show, all being broadcast everywhere. I'm happy. I had a great workout today. I've got my black coffee. Sales have been fantastic for feeding me more nutrition today. It's a good day. It's a good day for the big guy. I hope you're doing well as well, and staying safe, my friend. Yeah, I think there was definitely a missed opportunity with Bray Wyatt, with Bo. I think that would have been a huge platform to get Bo into a more serious role that would have worked with those two together. But for whatever reason, it never came to be. I love Zack Ryder. I've always gotten well along with Zack, and I'm very happy for him. I'm blown away. Zack is not working for AEW. I don't understand what's going on with that. Zack has a bigger following than the majority. I mean, probably of anyone outside the top guys combined. So I don't know, and I don't know what's going on. Why that guy I would bring on and have him, but maybe he is going to go there. I don't know. But Zack is doing things, and it's his choice what he wants to do. Would I do that? No, I don't need. I don't want to. On that, he's doing some things and stepping out of his comfort zone, and he's getting a lot of internet buzz, as he's great at knowing what to do to get buzz. And he was one of the first ones to really. I mean, I think he was the first guy for WWE, at least, to use social media to get over massively at a time where social too, I wasn't even aware of any of it. I was so just in the bubble of pro wrestling, and he was ahead of the curve on all of that. And which has really helped him gather a large following. So he's I would never question anything he does because he's a smart guy where there's a purpose behind everything. Super chat. Steph Ray says, will you ever wrestle in AEW? That is yet to be determined. We'll have to see with everything. I'm not one to speak about personal business or to leak things online, or like my goal is to get my shoulder to 100%. I've made things, I've let who I feel I need to let know what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. And I get to sleep in my own bed every night, man. I'm happy. I'm happy for everyone that has the platform to go get over. I'm not worried one bit about the success of anybody else. I know the moment I'm ready and the moment I can go back, the sky is the limit for me with where I'm at in my life and being healthy. That I know how to get over in any situation, in any promotion. I'm not worried. I want everyone to get as over as possible so that the show is bigger and better, so that when I'm ready to go, more people are able to see the show. More people see me when I come back. I hope their ratings continue to climb. I hope Punk goes there. I hope Daniel Bryan goes there. And I hope the ratings continue to climb for them. I want Punk to make a difference more than anything with Daniel Bryan for them, if those two truly do sign with them and go there, because it will show that guys from our period and era that have followings can draw the different audience back, and people with portions of their audience. And I think it's very beneficial, and it helps everybody there getting names. And I've talked about this from the beginning, especially guys. I think that this is the one thing people got to realize. Times are different and guys are so young still. A lot of the guys, remember like Hogan and people jumped to WCW and TNA. A lot of the guys, those guys were a lot older and a lot more beat up and not is in the primes of their career, where like, as far as like the guys going there are all able to go and they're able to wrestle, and they have great psychology and they want to work. So that's why I'll always dismiss anybody that tries to compare things to like, no, you're not smart to what's actually going on. And I think those two are going to be fantastic signings. Hello. But yeah, a lot of people, I think there's a lot of, because I can't even keep up with, there's been so many lies put out there. People goes, nobody wants to hire you or this. It's not, they have no clue what's actually going on. I stopped doing appearances and things over 3 years ago for Sophie. It's like, and I just laugh because I know the conversations I've had, and then I see stuff that comes out. I'm just like, you don't know, but they're always going to make up stuff. There's a lot of haters out there, people that don't want to see, someone who's been successful and who's happy go back to doing what they love, and because they're miserable and they want to see other people suffer or have. And it was like that portion will never ever stop me from doing what I'm doing. Yeah, Jose, you've never had back pain doing hip thrusts? Same. I truly believe doing the glute thrust, the hip raises, are the number one thing to strong glutes create a strong back. My back pain is non-existent. My back is 100%, and just keeps getting stronger and stronger. And the stronger my glutes get, the stronger my back gets. And I think that's why a lot of men don't do. That's why a lot of men, even if they're in shape, don't do like a lot of glute work. Which is why you'll see guys that are in shape, but they have dumpy asses, the flat asses. You don't want a flat ass. You got to get the ass strong. Think of how much meat. If you look at the women that work out there's women that go to the gym that do a leg day, sometimes multiple leg days, and then they got a designated glute day. And those women, their asses are enormous of muscle. The ones that really train them really hard on that. Like the ass muscle itself is a large muscle. It is responsible for so much that we didn't understand before. So that's why glute training, I now do them twice a week. I do my glutes on leg day, and then I throw in a few extra sets of kickbacks on one of the other days that I work out. And if I say so myself, I've got a great ass and no back pain. Gustavo says, do the so-called experts or smart marks misjudged you? I remember your rant on them. Yeah, it's just people like that. They get blocked and they come out with hate. They read dirt sheets, they read lies, and then they form negative, hateful opinions. They hold on to those, and then they come and attack you. But you see, what this was the whole deal with what WWE did. They created a lot of this hate, and it's been going on for a while. So when you come in, I had my attorney take down a lot of the articles. They kept coming out though, and I just thought, I'm not going to pay thousands of dollars to keep getting things that they're going to keep coming out with, no matter what it was. There were so many things, just straight up complete lies on this. And I remember even when I first left, and I was probably the highest paid independent wrestler for the first 2 years when I left with all the shows that I was doing. And there was a big article out on how I was a massive failure since leaving WWE, even though I'd launched Feed Me More Nutrition, which there was no mention of that, had wrote the motivational book, had the podcast, which was doing very, very well the first 2 years, which was a very good numbers on that and a good moneymaker on that. And then and on top of all the independent shows, working hurt, knowing I needed doing the stem cells, but to help fund all this money that I put into Feed Me More Nutrition. They didn't, and walking away injured, needing the 5-disc fusion and shoulder replacement, which I didn't talk about that for quite a while, but I talked about how hurt I was. They just neglected all of that and pushed out this narrative that like I was this huge failure. I'd failed miserably. And I'm just thinking, I remember, no joke, doing a weekend of shows and having like $30-something thousand cash on me on this, on top of all my stuff, just from the weekends of appearances and shows. It was a big weekend thing. And I remember there was a really negative thing, and I'm just thinking, like, how's this? This is more money than I ever made in WWE working weekly on this. I'm like, how's this being like a failure and going out and getting great reactions and doing signings and meeting fans and having a great time? And I go, what is going on with that? But what happens is, so the people will read this negative stuff, whether it's true or not. Like it doesn't even matter, and it doesn't matter if it's a lie and then they correct it. They don't care. They just want to be upset and they want to hate. So they'll read this. Oh, of course, Ryback's an egotistical asshole, this and that. I can't believe he's charging $5,000 a show, even though he's making the promotions money. How dare he doesn't love wrestling, blah, blah, blah. And then if they come at me and they attack me and then I block them. So now they hate me even more because they are not intelligent enough to understand that their toxic negative mindset is the problem, and that reading lies and then going and attacking a person who's not going to be attacked, who just blocks them, but that just in their head, that block then makes them hate you even more. But I don't let people disrespect me. Never will. It's toxic negativity. I don't want that in my environment. Nobody should on that. But that's what happened. And that was why, from a psychological standpoint, what WWE did, I understand why they did what they did, because it turned a portion of people that read those against me. Even though I get a good amount of people that do watch and finally realize that I'm nothing like what they have thought from what they've read, where I've gotten page-long apologies from people asking for forgiveness on it. Those are few and far between of the people that will actually take the time to get to know you. But that's why I do what I do. One of the reasons is so that the correct narrative is out there. If for those people that take the time, where you can go, I've watched this guy a lot. I don't know. I don't think that's true. And then you can see what's really going on. So, whereas if I didn't and just laid low, then the people will just assume it's all true. What else we got? Any other good questions? Any more super chats for the night, guys? Who wants to be pulled up on the screen? I'm trying to see if we have any other good questions I missed. Any TikTok questions? Appreciate all the love on TikTok. Thank you very much, AJ. Says you're doing amazing and look happy and better than ever. Keep it up. Thank you very much, buddy. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Tennessee, good to see you. Billy, I stopped wrestling because my back and shoulder were very hurt. I needed a 5 disc fusion and shoulder replacement. WWE was pumping me full of Toradol and cortisone. I'd expressed to them multiple times I was hurt. The doctors certainly knew I was hurt, and they just kept giving me more of the drugs. And I made a conscious decision to walk out. And I was very unhappy. I was not re-signing the contract and signing over all the trademarks that were mine that I already owned, along with my website and supplement company. And I simply chose to let my contract expire and got a couple nose and ear injury fixed. My remaining like 6 months of the contract, and then we let it expire, and that was that. Yeah, well, I imagine if the Feed Me More music hit at SummerSlam, I imagine it would be a pretty nice reaction. But I can tell you that is not happening. I will not even be. I will be doing my thing, and I won't even be. I don't even want to be around. I know Dolph's in town, and I'm not even going to go around anything. I don't even want to be around it because I'm not going there. I'm not. I don't. I'm not concerned. I'll be happy the day it's over and it's gone. Get them out of my city, and let's go on back. Keep on my business, and get my shoulder better. And I know what I'm doing and where I'm going to go, and it's not there. I am polling for Conor McGregor's return. I'm and having the bad ankle injury myself. He's got his work cut out for him, but I think the man is ultra successful and he's entertaining as all hell. And I would like to see him come back. I want to see him hold one more championship before he retires. So, and I think that's what he wants. I don't know what he wants. That's just my opinion. But I would imagine he wants to go out on top if he ever does. But he's also, I could see him in having the title and still defending it. Like he's in going out on his shield. Like the guy, man, he's been successful and done it. Like that's the hardest thing to stay on top at. Like, and he's fighting the best of the best. That's the other thing people aren't, when you lose fighting the best in the world, the elite in the world, in your weight division on those things, it's not the same as losing, to lower ranked guys. So he smoked Donald, man. Donald, man, is unbelievable. Absolutely one of the all-time greats, legend, so that just shows Conor, man, I think he's working very hard, and obviously having a business and knowing all the things that go on and having a family, it's not the same as when you're on your own. I think you could definitely focus better when you're on your own. But I also do think when you have a family, I think it can create extra motivation past yourself, which is beneficial to a lot of people with that power being hungry, #hungry. And, but also having a lot of money, though, can also make you less hungry because you have a safety net to fall in. So it's tough on that because you're dealing, but he's so talented and so skilled and he's working very hard. I don't doubt that he can't be just as successful as he was at some point. I never want to root. I think now he's in a babyface position with overcoming the injury. That was such a horrific injury, and I've experienced that. People, man, it's not something to like make fun of, and like a very serious deal. Juan Moreno says, "Thank you for the super chat. Are you making any moves to AEW? I feel like they could use your talent there. I want to see you in the ring again, and you will see me in the ring again, my man. We will see where everything, how it all hashes out when the time is right. My goal right now, like I got to get rid of the remaining scar tissue in my shoulder, so that when I'm training, I've just got to get the mechanics of the shoulder a little better. And I'm seeing 3 therapists a week. We are getting closer and closer every week. I'm breaking up my rear deltoid has so much bands of explosive scar tissue that is breaking up. And I just broke up a bunch before I came on. We're getting there. And it could be a very short period of time. It could be months. It all depends on, but it's rapidly increasing every week on the progress, and we're in the fourth quarter. I know that much. So I hope to God we're in the fourth quarter, because I based off how I feel and look, and I feel we're in the fourth quarter. But I'm not going to talk about it if it, that's not something. There's a lot that has to happen. There's meetings that have to take place. There's to be discussions, and there's a lot of things to see. No matter what, there's going to be opportunities, I promise you, somewhere. Thank you very much. Savrik says, Ryback, you're awesome, man. I hate negative people in general. You're promoting your brand in an excellent way and getting people healthy. Thank you very much, buddy. And it's, again, there's a lot of pain and suffering in this world, and a lot of unhappy people. And I'm a big believer, and this is sometimes hard for people to understand. You could be a kind, loving, positive person and also not tolerate any bullshit. And I think a lot of people that are very hateful and negative have a very tough time with that. And that because essentially, but the key is you don't put up with bullshit, but you block it, you smash it, and you move on, and you don't get caught up. And I won't argue with people. If I ever see people, you ever see that, and I see some of the things on some of my posts, there'll be people that leave really hateful things. I don't argue with them in the comment section on things, and I just block. I'm just like, I'm not dealing, and no hate, just get the hell away. I don't want you leaving stuff like that in a toxic manner on the post, because it encourages other people to do it. And I truly believe no matter what I do, and when I have people running my comment section, I will have an entire team devoted to blocking people solely, leaving hate, blocking robots, spam, and hate, because I don't want to, I know who and what I am, and I'm not interested in debating people online over stuff that I've already made my decision and know what I'm doing on and had the results on and have success on. Like, I'm not, and that's not what it's for. And I'm in a good place, and I keep moving forward. Now, if in real life and there's people I know and that I respect and that I have conversation with, I make my decisions and adjustments off of those, not off of people hanging out in the comment section and things like that. And the less time I spend in the comment section in general, the better my life is, because I'm working and doing my stuff and I'm happy. So Jose, I hope you do get an exercise bike. Having my gym at home has been such a blessing for me. A Carrot, thank you for the super chat. Can you tell my friend Eddie to get on Xbox? Eddie, get on Xbox. Tim says he has a friend and he's drunk. Do you have any tips on how to help him not to drink so much? Alcohol is a really tough thing for a lot of people. You got to replace bad habits with good habits. And it sounds like really simple advice, but it's the only advice that works. Because if people have an addictive mindset, you've got to replace whatever is bad and toxic or not causing you long-term happiness with another habit that is either less bad or ultimately good for you. And that's tough, because there's people, and they get in the routine where the alcohol, where they think they need that feeling over and over and over again. But what they need to do is ultimately look at their life and find why are you doing this over and over and over again? And it's like, I think drinking is totally fine. And I have no problem. Like, I like to have wine once a week now on that. But I understand and I drank heavy for a year straight back when I used to live in Louisville, Kentucky. I was a year and a half probably. I was very dependent on it. But I was very functional as well. And I would save it for periods of time. But I think it's something only that person could fix. And like, my best piece of advice is they got to fix the bad habits with good habits, one way or the other. But it's a decision that they have to have other things going on. Going to bed early and waking up early is probably one of the best habits we could have, because they tend, in studies show, and from other people that have overcome adversity, staying up late, if you're not doing it specifically for a job and just letting hours go by at night, is one of the number one causes of unhappiness, because that's where late night eating, snacking, eating junk food, drinking alcohol, things, sleeping in, bad habits are created from that. So that's where having that schedule and going to bed, at a good hour and getting up early and having things to do, training, working out, having good habits, having good interactions with people. If you're somebody that drinks at night to fill the time, and if you can replace that with an hour phone call or a 2 hour phone call with a friend or somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, and then take your GTS sleep aid, and all of a sudden you're tired and you go to bed, wake up early, whether you go right to work or you wake up early and you go work out, then you go to work, and then maybe you find a hobby. If you could pick up a class after work on a few nights a week, maybe you go take whatever it is. It could be a boxing class, a jiu-jitsu class, guitar lessons. It could be you join a ping pong club, a chess club. I don't care. Something to fill the time where all of a sudden you don't have all this extra time of not doing anything. Does that make sense? Does it make sense to me? That would be my advice. All right, guys. With that, we're going to wrap up tonight's show. Greatly appreciate all of you guys joining me on all the channels. As always, check out Feed Me More Nutrition on feedmemore.com. 20% off with discount code Ryback Show 20, Ryback Show 20 on feedmemore.com. Free shaker bottles all of August, guys, with your orders. Just select the free gift when it pops up after adding your first item to your cart. And I will see you next time. We have a new feeding time coming out tomorrow at 9 a.m. Please check that out first thing in the morning and turn on notifications if you can. And I'll be doing my first appearance in Albany on September 18th. I have that on my Instagram and it's got to probably scroll down a bit, but I'll be posting updates more on my stories on all of that. And I'll get that information so I can read my appearances coming up as I do some pro wrestling signings and Comic Cons coming up. I've signed with a Comic Con agency where they're going to get me more signings coming up now that I could travel a little bit. So before I go back to wrestling, just to kind of get around and see everyone again. And because I've been cooped up for a few years there with everything going on with Sophie. So thank you guys. As always, look forward to talking to you hopefully tomorrow. If not, I'll be back on Friday, but hopefully be on for another live tomorrow. Have a good night, you guys. Stay hungry. Feed me